Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our book club meeting. We're doing Neville Goddard's 5 lessons, and we're on lesson 5 of Neville Goddard's 5 lessons. Remain faithful to your idea. Hello, hello, how are you, Glazed Motivations? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you that are familiar with Neville Goddard, his teachings, his esoteric teachings, he liked to call the law of assumption. It's also known as the law of belief. That's what Dr. Joseph Murphy would call it. Then you have the law of attraction, what a lot of people in the spiritual community call it. Like they call it the law of life, the law of being. Hey, hey, hey. Love for the Most High Power. Hello, hello. So we're waiting for more people to come into the chat. Hopefully get others in here that have also read the lecture series. The lecture series, again, the book club is based on his 5 lectures. And the lectures are just basically him going more in depth on some of the biblical scriptures, showing you that the scriptures are psychological truth, and they're there to remind you of who you are and the power that's within you, and that there is power in your words and your thoughts. Your assumptions about life is what you believe to be true will be true for you. You can call it assumption, you can call it belief, you can call it knowing, you can call it intention, and you can call it focus, you can call it attention. All the same things. What you give your energy to, what you put your mind on, that's what you experience, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, right, wrong, however you want to label it, categorize it. The Bible is showing you that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's what all of these teachers were telling us, teachers of the past, and even some of us modern day. Folks are telling you how to use your mind to create your reality. Hello, it's me. Hey, it's a lecture series by Neville Goddard called 5 Lectures. You can find the audio on YouTube, and you can Google the PDF version. It's called, again, 5 Lectures by Neville Goddard. And we're on lesson 5. 5 lessons by Neville Goddard. We're on lesson 5. And this particular lecture is called Remain Faithful to Your Idea. Hey, 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 the 0120. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So hopefully we can get some people up in the box, because it is a book club meeting. So we do want to, have some other voices regarding this particular lesson. And how are you guys doing today? Was any of you able to read the 5 lessons? In particular, lesson 5. Welcome everyone in the chat. So no, lesson 4, which we just finished, was no one to change but self. No one to change but self. So many times we're more concerned about what others are doing when the others, when they come into your experience, they're only there to show you you. Hey, Janae. Hey. Everything is great. So you just finished lesson 5 about an hour ago. Okay, cool. They'll want to. Okay. Hey, Belinda, say I would, but I haven't touched that book. I like hearing y'all talk about it. Oh, okay, Belinda. How are you doing, Janae? How are you? So we're doing a book club meeting tonight where we're doing finishing up Neville Goddard's 5 lesson series, his lecture series that he did. Hoping some more people join us that have actually, read it and want to contribute. Those who want to come up to the box, be a part of the panel. So I think this will probably be the only time I do the book club as well. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I don't want to be like being real structured. I don't want to have to say that, oh, I have to, we have to set aside time for this specific thing. I like just going with the motion, going with the flow. If I feel like coming on live, I feel like coming on live. If I don't feel like doing it, and I won't do it. So oh, you're welcome. Last week's discussion was good. I hope you get as much engagement as last time. Oh, thank you. Oh, you read all of them? Cool. Are you hoping to hop on with the next book, Belinda? Yeah. I mean, you try something out, see how you like it. Then you're like, I like it, but it's not something I have to do. It's not something I want to be, committed to. Because what really makes the books go is hopefully getting, folks engaged and, a part of the oh, okay, Belinda. Hey, Nasani, the millionaire. Hello, Cece. How are you? How's everyone? So I'm also part of a book club. I love it because we talk about every chapter as a group. Nice. That's what we're doing here. So that was the purpose of it anyway. But I have to, it only works if we can get, but we did good. The first 4 chapters, we did have engagement. We did have people come up in the box. We did have people participating. This is the last chapter. So, but we did have a lot of engagement the first 4 chapters, the first 4 lessons. So that was good. I used to book clubs with my family, so we read several books with my family. We did a book club probably for like a year and a half. We probably read about 5 or 6 of Neville Goddard's books. Might have did it longer than a year and a half. Might have did it for like 2 years. We read several of Neville Goddard's books. Yep. Say nobody gets left behind, right? Say I like the millionaire. It's crazy. Mm. Well, we didn't read it live. We're just been discussing it, and then we read different parts of the. I will read different parts of the chapter, that stood out to me, what I highlighted, but we don't, you know, read every word verbatim, word for word, right? But we highlight what we gleaned from the chapter and share it with everybody and give our different perspectives on it. Wait, that's the sharing the info with the family. Yep. My husband, my oldest daughter, my in-laws. Yep. We haven't done it in a while. We gave it a break, but we were doing it for at least 2 years straight. And we were focused mainly just on Neville Goddard's writings. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple of more minutes. Then I'm just gonna read what I highlighted, and hopefully more people join and come up and want to participate. Because this show gonna go on regardless, right? The show is going to go on regardless. But this will be the last one. So, hey, Aaron, checking in. What time is it where you're at? What time is it, Aaron? I know you've been living your best life. Loving your videos on that motorbike. You just chilling on the motorbike. I don't like Thompson. It's scary and cool at the same time. I'm like, you just chilling. You like a professional now. Some of the best books. Well, I like all of Neville Goddard's books. So yeah, The Power of Awareness. We did Your Faith is Your Fortune. What other books did we read? It was so long ago. I want to say we might have read off of, other than Neville Goddard. I want to say we read Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, as well. And I know we read I think the Creative Power Within. I think that was a Neville Goddard book. We read several of them. I can't remember each one that we read, and there was another book that we read by Dr. Joseph Murphy too. But it escapes me at this moment. So she's an old English teacher and she reads and makes sure we all understand. Oh, nice. Hey, Butterfly. 7 a.m. Oh, okay, cool. We up and early. Okay. I gotta know what career I want. Oh, that's beautiful. Light skin sensation. That's what's up. No, we didn't read any Joe Dispenza books, but I mostly listen to Joe Dispenza. I used to listen to him a lot on YouTube, and if he comes across my TikTok FYP, I did start reading. It wasn't Supernatural. I know that's one of his books. What's the other book by him? I had it on my iPad, but I ended up deleting it. But I didn't get very far. My daughter had told me about the book, but I can't remember that other book by him. I don't think it was Being Supernatural. I think it was a different book by him that I had started to read, but I didn't finish. Oh, that was yeah. I don't remember. Did you join the 120? Were you a part of the book club? You didn't know? No, it wasn't you. It might have been Being Supernatural. That might have been the book, but I know it wasn't You Are the Placebo. I tried to do the Dispenza's meditations, but I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I'm not into the guided meditations. Oh, thank you, Phoenix. Thank you. So you just found out when I was on lesson 2. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna read some of the highlights that I have for lesson 5. Because it's interesting. This wasn't my suggestion to do the book club. It was a suggestion of, the community. And so it can be very challenging to start meditating. I know. Where are the studious folks at, right? Exactly. Maybe people are busy today. I don't know. I know some people have stuff going on. But the lesson 5 is remain faithful to your idea. So this is a particular part of, because I didn't take notes. I just highlight different paragraphs. I don't necessarily take notes. I just highlight the paragraphs. And so he's referring to the part that I highlight, because I didn't want to highlight the whole parable in which he's referring to, but it's regarding Jesus telling his mother, what do I have to do with when she tells him that there's no more wine at the marriage of Cana, right? And so he tells her, what do I have to do with this? Has nothing to do with me. What do I have to do with you? And so he's going to tell us what that particular parable is regarding at the wedding of Cana. And he says, you are Jesus, and your mother is your own consciousness. For consciousness is the cause of all. Therefore, it is the great father-mother of all phenomena. You and I are creatures of habit. We get into the habit of accepting as final the evidence of our senses. Wine is needed for the guest, and my senses tell me that there is no wine. And although habit, and I, through habit, am about to accept this lack as final. When I remember that my consciousness is the one and only reality, therefore, if I deny the evidence of my senses and assume the consciousness of having sufficient wine, I have, in a sense, rebuked my mother or the consciousness which suggested lack. And by assuming the consciousness of having what I desire for my guests, wine is produced in a way we do not know. And he says further down in the chapter, never accept the suggestion of lack. Hey, Grand Rising. Hello, Janine. No, for a recall. Hello, I'm going to interact from down here. Okay. Okay, so Janine and Aaron, you all want to come up? Are you putting a request in? Okay. Hey, Lisa. I know you coming up, Lisa. This was your book. You suggested this, and we on the last chapter. I know you putting a
Yes, come
request
on
in,
up, Lisa.
Lisa. Yeah, I'm putting Lisa on the spot. Hey, how you doing, Janine?
I'm doing well, great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well.
That's good. That's good. Come on, Lisa.
I know, right? Okay, you gonna come up. Okay, you gonna come up, Aaron. Okay, I'll bring you up. Aaron said he'll come up.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello, hello. Yeah. How y'all doing?
We
Good, good. How
good,
are
good, good. We
you?
good.
It's
Thank
early morning, but I was like, this gonna be my mindset work today. So I get in the right mindset for the day.
you.
Yes, yes. Okay, so yeah, so yes, in this story that Mary represents our consciousness, right? In that first part, when you're desiring, when you're having an experience and your five senses try to tell you that you don't have enough or that you lack something. And that's what that story, the wedding, the first miracle Jesus performs is the wedding at Cana, right? And the
Mhm.
wedding guests have drunk all of the wine. And I know he doesn't go into great detail in his lecture regarding the wedding of Cana, but we remember that, they were all like, "Oh my goodness, this is wine I never tasted before. This is the best wine we've ever had." So, but the point of his him using this, him meaning Neville, referring to this particular parable, is to remind us that we don't allow the senses to dictate any belief in lack. Anytime we are encountering something that we want to experience, we are never to accept any belief in lack. We're always to see the abundance. And when we rebuke lack, then we no longer create it. But anytime you accept it, you're just going to bring it forth in your reality.
Okay. Never accept. Okay, because didn't it say something about also too, never, like you said, never accept the assumption of lack. Get behind me when suggest your lack. I don't know. Wait a minute. Hold up. Get behind me when suggestion lack. I don't even know what I wrote. I do know that part. Never accept the assumption of lack. I did get that part. I don't
Right,
know.
yeah, right. Because he was saying in this case, he was saying, "What do I have to do with thee?" Right. Was the statement he said to Mary in the story, but that's you talking to your consciousness. He says, "It is not man saying to a mother, woman, what have I to do with thee? It is every man who knows this law who will say to himself, when his sisters suggest lack, what have I to do with thee? Get behind me. I will never again listen to a voice like that, because if I do, then I am impregnated by the suggestion and I will bear the fruit of life."
Okay.
That's the reason why we want to be careful about what we give our attention to. Be careful when your senses suggest the opposite of your desire, which in this particular example is suggesting lack. You never want to. And then, because he also gives what the fig tree parable as well, right? The fig tree allegory, and that's also a suggestion of lack.
Oh, is that the part where it says, I am the vine?
Mm-hmm.
And he told the fig tree, since you already, from here on out, you're going to be barren. And
Yep.
every day, okay. I remember that part.
Yep. Yep.
That was John 15:1.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what he says. So right after that particular allegory about the wine turning the water to wine, he turns to the Gospel of Saint Mark. And he says, "Seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if haply he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and said unto it, No man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. So yes, that's Mark 11:13 and 14.
Okay.
And so I like how Neville breaks down these particular parables, because he's just reminding us that the Bible is psychological, and it's always, even though these characters appear to be people that existed in time and space, they're really states of mind. When you are experiencing the appearance of lack, you're never to identify with it, because once you identify with the appearance of lack, you're just going to create more of it in your world.
That's why we can't be saying I'm broke, even if you're just playing around, or you have to be, like you always tell us, be mindful when you're speaking to others, and maybe your bank account is not looking as hefty as you want it to be. Still don't confirm that and be like, ooh, I'm so broke. I'm broke today. And you're like, no, don't say that. It's just confirming it, basically. Yeah. So I remember, saying that whole lack thing, like I did with the bills. I said, oh, I'm just so grateful. I think I was able to play in bridge, and this, that, and the third, all my, all the, the electrical bill, every bill, that it didn't always be like, oh my goodness, it's so high. I don't even say that anymore. I just say I'm just grateful and thankful that it's paid.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Janae says it's turning water consciousness to wine material. Our coast is clear. Right, because also Neville reminds us that water in scripture represents psychological truth, and wine is application of that truth. So when you hear the truth, which is revealed in scripture, whenever you hear it, you're not, as James tells you, be not only hearers of the word, but doers also. He has this particular, it's a chapter in one of his books called Are You Making Wine? Are you taking this psychological truth, this knowledge, this awareness of self, the law of mind, and applying it to your life? Yep. Are you applying it? Or are you just consuming it and consuming it and consuming it, which a lot of people do. Some people even, I remember when I was at this law of attraction spirituality meetup, one guy said, I just like listening to everything. He didn't ever want to apply it. He was just like, I just like hearing y'all talk about it. I thought that was interesting. He would come almost every time they had a meeting. He was like, I just enjoy listening to it. It's so intriguing to me. But he was like, he wasn't applying anything he was hearing.
Yeah, because some people don't want to drop like the old self.
Yeah.
They don't want to drop it. They don't want to let it go. But they know about it. They're like, I still am my old self.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's kind of like that. I love him, but he'll listen to YouTube all day long and then still talk about the same things.
Yeah, some people can
And
get
I'm
out
like,
their own way, as they say. Yep.
yeah, when are you going to apply it?
Hey, Belle the Goddess. Yes. Yep. And Janae, did you have any notes that you want to share with us?
That the first note that I did write was you have to see that thing clearly. When you naturally know it, then you can express it.
Yes. Love that.
Yep, then you
I'm
can
bringing
express it.
A-Town up.
Hello, hello,
Family, how's
hello.
everybody doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Had a little meeting I had to prepare for. We're having a women's in business meeting, and so I had to jump on that to help prepare for that. But um, didn't want to miss this. So, how's everybody doing?
Great, great, great. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Awesome, awesome.
Awesome.
What,
Good.
I'm kind of interested what I already missed, but I'll catch it on the YouTube.
Oh yeah, we just delved we haven't been talking about it too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about this chapter was just the correlation in the scriptures. Again, I think we kind of mention this every time, but just bring a different newness and a different perspective when it comes to seeing the scriptures is always kind of like refreshing because it's like you just always been so conscious about a different way, but now being able to see it from a more of a just a spiritually natural way, I think it definitely resonates a lot different and a lot better. So yeah, I got some good stuff to talk about this chapter.
Yep,
Nice.
absolutely. I believe that when it's broken down like this, it's easier to apply to your life as opposed to just
Exactly.
going in reading the Bible. You don't know what you're reading. You want to fall asleep after a while because you're tired. You have no idea what you read. So you're just like, okay, I'm done. But when it's broken down like this and it's applied to your everyday life, it makes it so much easier. I feel you on that one, A-Town. Yep. It's just easier. It's better this way.
Absolutely. Okay.
So this was necessary.
Very necessary. Very necessary.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, up, God. What's up? So what did you have? What notes did you have, A-Town? Did he hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You came off mute.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so I guess we can start off because I was actually okay. So for one, just when it regards to he created the light and the darkness. So a lot of times where kind of like it means something, but you kind of want to take it out like all the way there to where just a different light. So for me, everybody considers certain things bad, and I think T, you had mentioned this. Why do you consider it bad? Who says it's bad? And so I think that just knowing our consciousness, how much reality of our consciousness it is, and how much for me, just being able to know how much weight is on that consciousness. Like we take it for granted almost because, like you said, we're always manifesting. So, just being more cognitive of what are the engines, what makes that really go. And again, starting, trying to break it down into increments because sometimes you say, okay, I'm going to be consciousness for the whole day. Right? You try to maximize it. But just being in the moment, being, taking it from time to time and even actually being consciousness of what you're being conscious about. So that really helped me out, especially when it was saying that you cannot find a cause outside of your own consciousness. The world is a great mirror, constantly telling you who you are. As you meet people, they're telling you by your behavior who you are. And for me, for business, it really resonated because 5, 10 years ago, you wouldn't catch me having a sale or even an offer for nothing over like 4 figures, right? So being able to now know that, some people say that, I even look at it myself sometimes, the audacity to charge 15, $20,000 for a particular package or stuff. It's like, bro, you was just scratching your butt trying to figure out how you was doing certain things. So my consciousness had to collectively look at my self-concept, and it's all about who I am, because it's not, for me, it's not the fact that um, my eye gauge was just really different. My self concept was different about myself, and my awareness was like, look, I get $20. I used to get $20 an hour. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's 2,000 maybe a month. So now I'm able to, so just the mindset shift of being from being a consumer to a producer. This 5 lessons has really elevated my just my internal makeup on how I see people, on me being a better coach. I got to see people before they even see themselves. I work for missions homes, so these people, they be a little ignorant, but I got to see them past their ignorance. And so yeah, so those are some of the things that I had.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
Yeah, that
beautiful.
is, yes.
Yes, and so Janae says, could the light and the dark in us be the right and left side of the brain, and which side we're using? That's one way to, interpret the scriptures. All right, all right. Yeah, that's one way to interpret it. I never thought about that. I know people talk about the right lane, right side and left side, and that the right side is the God side, and the left side is the carnal mind. That's the 10% that has to be given over to Christ when it talks about the tithe, and that Christ sitting on the right hand of God, right? That the right side is the awakened side of us, the enlightened side of us, and the left side is that side that needs to be given back to the Christ consciousness. But I don't really, dig too deep into that. You have a lot of people that teach from that mindset. I just deal with the scriptures as, the psychological part of it, not really the scientific. Not to say that it's not science, because it is science. Psychology is science, but that's the lane of science I stay with, not really the physiology or the chemistry or the anatomy part of the science, which the Bible is talking about all of those layers. The Bible is layered, and you can draw cosmology, astrology, astronomy, physiology, anatomy, and psychology. You can draw all of those things out of scripture, because scripture is layered. Hey, Caleb. In that case, a whole lot about these things. Yep, yep. All right, Royal say coming up too. I'm about to bring Royal up.
I also like the part about forgiveness too,
Yep.
where forgiveness is it's almost like a shield. It's like a protector where, you know for me, just mentally, like, just letting nothing can mess up my feng shui of life. And always staying in forgiveness. So I think that's like an ultimate strength, especially coming from the mindset of I always had to protect myself, so I always had to kind of like think before somebody else gonna do me wrong. So I'm always contemplating the exact opposite of what I want, right? So now is being able to always be on the offensive in regards to forgiveness, and just when it goes to knowing that my consciousness won't forgive me. It's not really quote unquote God ain't forgive me. It's my consciousness not forgiving me. So I think that's another level that kind of took me out too.
Yeah. So I did have that highlighted. So I'm gonna read a couple of paragraphs from that. He says, you cannot find a cause outside of your own consciousness. Your world is a grand mirror constantly telling you who you are. As you meet people, they tell you by their behavior who you are. And he says, but and when you stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. And if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses. That is what we must do when we pray. If I hold something against another, be it a belief of sickness, poverty, or anything else, I must loose it and let it go. Not by using words of denial, but by believing him to be what he desires to be. That's forgiveness. Seeing someone in a different state of consciousness. That's how you forgive. If they're saying they don't have enough money, if they're saying they're sick, if they're saying that they want to live in another state or they want to be married, you're supposed to see them in that new state. You're forgiving the old and remembering the new. That's true forgiveness. It isn't about accepting somebody's apology. That's not what forgiveness is. Or being sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead.
also too, he talked about, he says, if I forget, then I have forgiven. Sometimes people would say, oh, they'll say, what is that saying? I didn't forget. I may have forgiven you, but I didn't forget. Well, guess what? Then now we know that's not true, because you actually have to forget in order to forgive. You can't say that statement. I'll forgive you, but I bet you I won't forget it. But then that's not truly forgiveness, is it?
Yep.
Right. And we used to make that a badge of honor. I'm gonna forgive you, but I ain't gonna forget it.
Right. Exactly. Yes, we used to say that all the time.
Yep. Hey, Royal.
What's going on, family?
Hey.
Hello, good evening.
Good?
Feeling good.
Royale, what's up?
Sorry for being late, y'all.
Oh, you
It's
good?
okay. We're here.
I came late too, Royale.
So I heard actually what you said, A-Town. I was gonna jump on that. One of my favorite verses now is Isaiah 45:4, where he was saying, I create the light, I create the dark, I create the peace, I create the evil. I think that's so powerful because, like he said, that means anything that comes bad or what you would deem as bad is something you created. You know what I mean? I think that's very powerful to look at versus blaming, oh, the devil did it. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that's like the easy way out. You can just easily put on a devil or a demon real quick versus taking accountability.
Yep. That's the part a lot of us like, wait. Especially when it comes to another person's actions and how we perceive their actions, right? Because especially when it's something that we say they've done to us, now we recognize that they're just playing a part based on our assumptions about life. And they're just showing us, when they come into our experience, they're showing us who we are in that moment. And so all causation is from within. It's never from without.
But that is a tough concept, though, you know? You know, that's a tough concept. Like, I mean, yeah, just moving around in this world and just seeing how people move. But you're right, like from our own perspective, how we view the world, like they call it like core beliefs, right? Some of our core beliefs determine what we experience and how we experience it.
Yep. That's it. And that's the part that, you know, you have to be willing to accept, because if you're God, then you're creator of it all. You're not creator of just some things, you're creator of all things in your experience. So taking that kind of, but here's the thing, if you know you created it, you can what? Recreate it. You get to change it. You don't have to accept any experience. Did you want to come back up, Aaron? Let me know. Yep, recreated. That's what repentance is. That is what repentance is. Repentance is to recreate it.
Recreate it. Let me write that down.
Yeah, that word got me started on this journey, because once I looked up what repentance meant, and it was like a change of mind, I was like, hold up, I thought I had to go beg somebody to forgive me. You know what I mean? But It's literally just a change of mind. Like, that's crazy.
All right. Hey, no worries. So you said I was EFT tapping, and the opposite of what I tapped showed up the next day. What does that mean? So it's about it. It depends on what you were thinking about as you were tapping. Were you thinking from a place of having or lack? So and then you also have to know that just because you got the opposite doesn't mean you have to accept it. You can recreate it. You can tell yourself, no, that's not what I want. And imagine and rephrase it, recreate it, repent, remember it differently. Too many times we think we have to accept circumstances or accept outcomes, and we don't. If you got the opposite of what you wanted, just change it. That's it.
So what's EFT tapping?
I've seen it on YouTube. It's like it's different pressure points in the body, like the head, neck, and I think arm area that people tap on, and they say different things while they're tapping. I don't remember all the pressure points they use, but I think they do like the temple and the neck and the arm, different parts of the body that they tap on, and they're affirming what it is they want to experience during that time. I don't know too much about it. Maybe someone else can give a little bit more detail, but that's all. I didn't delve too much into it because I'm not trying to add nothing else to the plate. I'm not trying to get another technique. I don't even know what technique. I'm really trying to get it. But for some people, they say it works for them. And so I did see it on YouTube, but I didn't want to try to get too involved in it because I knew I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, I've seen people do it, but they do it for like drainage, for like lymph nodes and stuff like that. They tap up under their arms, they'll tap their chest, they'll tap the head, and it's supposed to, I guess, like do some type of drainage, but it kind of dealt with like the lymph nodes. So I don't know if those two go hand in hand, but it's kind of sounded like that when you said the tapping, because I know it's like 10 taps under this arm, 10 taps under this arm, and 10 taps on your chest. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's kind of like the same. I don't know. So much new stuff out here.
Yeah. I think it has to do a lot of what people talk about, that regulating the nervous system. I think that has something to do with it. Yeah. So Caleb says, can you explain about the dolphin? I heard something about that in the video lecture. Yeah, he was just referring to about being able to explain something. You know something when you can explain it clearly. And he was giving an example of like a fisherman or someone that, I think he was a fisherman, and he had a limited vocabulary, but with his limited vocabulary, because he studied the dolphins so, precisely, he was able to give a great explanation as to the behaviors of the dolphins. And so Neville was just saying, when you really know something, you will be able to explain it. When you can't explain it, that's how you know you really don't know it.
Yep, sure did say that.
Yeah. Yep, be in the present.
Something there is no.
Just trying to go through these comments.
Okay, it did say man can alter their future. And it said flexibility, and then it gave like 3 ways: desire, construct, and immobilize.
Okay.
I think he did talk about that.
Yeah.
Desire, define your objective and know what you want.
Yes, that's his state akin to sleep technique. So have
Okay.
you ever did the state akin to sleep technique?
Is that when you don't fall asleep, but when you get to like that sleepy point? Is
Hmm.
that is when you get to that sleepy point, but you don't fall asleep? Because if
Right.
you fall asleep, then you're in a whole nother realm or whatever or something. But I know it's right before you fall asleep, right?
Right. Well, he has two suggestions. So he's saying, so this is the two techniques he's talking about when it comes to so if you're going to affirm something going to sleep, go to sleep affirming it. Fall asleep in your affirmation. If you're creating a scene, you want to do that scene over and over and over again and then let it go and then drop off to sleep. That is his suggestion. That's Neville's suggestion. But I feel like, you have to figure out what works for you. The state of kin to sleep is something you do anytime during the day you get in that drowsy state. And he found that's what worked best for him. He also said that he found, the easiest way to get in a drowsy state is right after eating a very large meal. And you're basically deciding what you want, constructing a scene that says that you already have it, not how you're going to get it, right? So, say like you got a promotion, the scene will be someone congratulating you. Maybe they're hugging you, maybe they're, shaking your hand, and you want to get the reality of that. So you want to create the memory that that's already happened. And you keep doing it over and over again until it feels natural to you that it actually happened, that you actually got the promotion, someone's actually congratulating you, and whether they gave you a hug or they shook your hand or they patted you on the back, keep it limited to whatever action that you think is going to be natural after having received the promotion.
So that sleep state, I learned about that, like different brain waves, right? There's a brain wave called theta, and theta is like when you're 0 to 7 years old. That's what they said. That's like the most critical time for babies because they're just in program mode. So anything that happened from when you were 0 to 7 is like almost what your adulthood is based off of. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of your programming came around that time, but that sleep state, it's a certain brainwave that you're put in, and you're very easily programmed or hypnotized. A lot of hypnotized people, they put you in that state, in that theta brainwave, so they can hypnotize you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's some science today.
That's what they talk about. They tell us that those different where they tell you the alpha, the theta, the zeta, all that. So yeah, again, that's the sciences I don't get to.
No, you
I
know
don't
what?
delve.
I love how you can mix it though. I love how the
Yeah,
Bible
yeah,
is.
because it's all relative. It's all a part of
Sometimes,
it. But that's
that's true.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
listen to like Joe Dispenza
yeah,
and
that's my
what's
dude.
his name? Joe Joe Lipton, because he used
Bruce
to be
Lipton. Yeah.
yeah, he's really good talking about the sciences or whatever, because I think he talks about the epigenetics, you
That was
know.
good. Yeah.
Yep.
Epigenetics is like just because your mama got breast cancer don't mean you're gonna have breast cancer. Versus where the doctors they're gonna tell you your mom had breast cancer, you better get breast cancer. you know?
Yep. So all Saints say gamma state. Okay.
Yeah, they
Yep,
gamma
like mm-hmm.
nice.
That's it. Oh, okay, okay. A Town. Yep, everything, yep. Yeah, so with his lecture series, his biggest thing was teaching the state akin to sleep. That's what because I think this was in 1948. So that was like one of that was before he came up with the remember when technique. He really liked the state akin to sleep. And it wasn't his technique. That technique was actually taught to him because I remember Dr. Joseph Murphy talked about that technique as well. They said a French school discovered that the state akin to sleep. So they just put it in their teachings, that technique. realize that once you're drowsy and you can focus the mind, that's a way to bring, you know, that to visualize. That's the best way to visualize as you're drifting off to sleep, whether it's right before bed or any time during the day. You want to basically prepare the subconscious mind to receive that what you want to express, because once it is impressed upon the subconscious mind, then it is expressed. But there's many ways to do that, right? That was just, they said they believe that to be the quickest way, the dream state or that sleepy state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. Let me ask y'all a question. What are some of the ways that help you create your new self concept and to submerge the old, I guess, quote unquote, old self concept? What are some ways that you guys, work that out?
Um, hey, A-Town. I never got to say hi.
What's up, my homie? How you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What part of the world you at? First of all, let me check in on the passport. Let me check your passport real quick. Where you
I
at?
know. I know. I'm in Bali right now.
Oh, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay.
Yes, beautiful Bali. But I mean, I don't know if I have it down packed all the way, but the way that I kind of, 1 second, the way that I've been, I guess, managing it is just through like what I am noticing, how I think about certain things and how I respond to certain things. So if I have like a thought or something that doesn't feel good, I know that that's something from coming from an older version, um, unpreferred self concept type of thing, and I'm constantly in, and I don't know if this is the right or wrong way, but I'm constantly like observing who I'm being, you know. So and I'm like, oh no, that doesn't fit this new version of me. That fits. That don't fit. And sometimes the same thing that I say doesn't fit still comes up. And I'm like, that still don't fit. So you gotta go back, you gotta go sit back down.
Right.
Keep sitting down. I keep telling that thing to sit back down. Hi. And so that's how I manage it. I don't think it's a one and done. I think it's a always like just knowing where you are. Because I could easily step into a older unpreferred version of myself where I'm doing all this and that, but I know too much now, you know. So yeah, that's how I've been working with it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I would agree, man.
You
Just
tell
being
the old self to go sit down. I'm sorry, Raya.
no. I was gonna say I agree with him. Like being aware how you show up, aware what you're thinking, aware how you respond. I think that's a great way to go.
I know that for me, a lot of times now, having a more positive outlook, I'm more peaceful. I am just more peaceful. And I also, too, that if I'm having maybe an issue for someone, like Toyia has said, is how is it you perceiving them that way or are they that way? So what I do is I'll say, I'm nice, so they're nice. I'm joy, so they're joy, because they are a reflection. I'm happy, so they're happy. So um I have to do it that way, because I have a coworker. um her attitude towards me is not the same. So what I do is to so that I am not combative with her, because the old me, let me tell you something. That old me would have got with her. But this is the new me. So the new me is, good morning, Kim. Have a good evening, Kim. So I look at her in a different perspective. So she has no other choice but to reflect the way I'm treating her. Good morning. How are you? So I say, oh, she's nice, so I'm nice. So guess what? It's been working. I'm not going to even lie. It's been working. But I can still sense a little something there because, of course, it is what it is. But I don't let it get to me. But I just say, she's nice, I'm happy, she's happy. And I always make sure that I am always pleasant because I still want her at the end of the day to still be pleasant to me. And I want to change. I want to be the change that I see. And that's what I'm doing.
I like that.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely. Yeah, it was actually it was a success story that Neville Goddard told about one of his students saying that her boss always was very mean and ugly to her and never had anything nice to say. And he told her that all of this was happening as a result of her. He told her, he said, I'm sure you at home have all kind of conversations with him in your head. And those conversations aren't loving. And she had to admit to the fact that yes, her conversations about her boss were always in a negative, from a negative point of view. And he said if you would change how you thought about your boss, they would show up differently. So she decided, and it didn't take long either. She decided for about a week or so to, I don't even know if it was a week, it might have been like a couple of days, to just start saying that he was complimenting her and start saying that, he approved of her work and, just had these conversations, these wonderful conversations in her mind. And then what happened? He started doing exactly how she was imagining him. So it's all about how we use our mind on behalf of others, because the change in her caused the change in him. And that's it. Once we change our perspective, our minds, our world has to reflect that back to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for me, like when I'm desiring to change a certain aspect of self-concept of myself, yes, in the beginning, I still have the same old reactions. What I do when I have the same old reactions, I revise this. I'm like, ooh, okay. Actually, I reacted this way. And I keep doing it. I keep saying it. I keep saying it. And maybe one or two more times after that, I may still have that same reaction. But every time I revise it, I never accept it. I don't beat myself up like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. Or, oh, why did this happen? Nope, I know why it's happening because it's the old state. And I'm choosing to change the state. So anytime I respond in the old way, I just revise it. As soon as it comes to my attention that I reacted in the old nature, I remember it differently. And I feel, well, actually what happened is I did this, that, and this. I acted in the way I wanted to act to respond. And then like osmosis, I'm acting the way I decided I wanted to act. And it just happens naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta remain faithful to the new state. That's really what it is. Consistency and commitment is key. You must remain faithful to that new desire, that new way of thinking.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, that is. Yep.
Yep. You got to remember, we're always the cause, and the people, like Neville said earlier in the chapter, right? That people's behavior are showing you. We think they're showing us them. They're actually showing us our concept of them. We got to remember that. People are not showing us them. They're showing us our concept of them. So if you think somebody is rude, you think somebody is dishonest, you think someone is passive aggressive or whatever label you want to put on someone, how can they show up differently if that's your expectation, if that's your assumption about them? You're not giving them a chance to be different, because everyone begins and ends in you. They're only there because you drew them in. They can only come to you because of who you are, not because of who they are.
Ooh.
And that's the part that that's the part that accountability goes a step too far for us. Like, hold up. They're responsible for their behavior. I'm not responsible for their behavior. But the thing is that if the world is your mirror, then you have to be responsible for their behavior, because they're your mirror. They're reflecting you to you. It's your assumptions about life that you see. You always see your assumptions about life. That's why we're told to them that are pure, all things are pure. Eyes too pure to behold iniquity. Can you see without seeing wrongness? Can you see without judging? Can you see only beauty? Beauty for ashes, joy for mourning. Can you exchange the ungodly for the godly? The unlovely for the lovely?
Well, some of these people better get out of my mirror.
I know, right?
Yes, because wait a minute.
But like you said earlier, Janine, right? You have to truly forget the state. You're holding your coworker in the state of being an unlovely person, and you think by your words you're going to change her. You're not going to change her by your words. You're going to change her by your change of self-concept.
Okay.
That's how you. You got to forget the old and embrace the new. And it's not about changing her. It's about changing who?
Me.
That's it.
Gotcha.
Don't change people. We can't change people. We cannot change people. We can only change who?
Ourselves.
We're not here to save nobody. We're not here to save nobody. We're here to perceive people differently. And how do you perceive people differently? By perceiving yourself differently. It's like I told you guys, I got a good man because I said I was a good woman.
Perceive. I'm taking some good notes tonight.
A good woman deserves a good man.
Right?
It can't be any other way. You draw you to you. You don't get what you want. You get what?
Who you are.
That. So you got to be the friend. You got to be the kind person. You got to be the best co-worker anybody has ever known. Just be you, and that'll be enough.
Amen.
And then you'll see it reflected back to you.
Needed that, Toyia. Thank you.
Oh, did.
I hear you.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Okay, because some people can get back in my mirror then. Okay.
Yeah. See, this is what Neville says. He said, anyone who prays successfully turns within and appropriates the state salt. You have no sacrifice to offer. Do not let anyone tell you that you must struggle and suffer. You need not struggle for the realization of your desire. Read what it says in the Bible. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of the he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who hath required that you at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot endure iniquity and solemn assembly. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hates. They have become a burden to me. I am weary of bearing them. Ye shall have a song as the night when a holy solemnity is kept, and gladness of heart as when one goes with pipe to come into the mountain of the Lord, to the mighty one of Israel. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth. We are to what? Enter his gates with thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving. And his
enter his courts with praise. And if you're looking for the Lord, he's in his holy place. Right? Where's the holy place? Within the holy place. Hey. So come with praise and thanksgiving. That's it. No sacrifice, no strain, no struggle. Just have what? A contrite heart, a renewed heart, a heart of love. Love is the only transforming power. I don't care what, that was the ministry of Christ. He said, I didn't come to destroy anything. I came to fulfill the law. What's the fulfillment of the law? Love. How do we know this? Because the disciples asked, what is the greatest commandment? To love thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and all that is within thee. And the second is likened unto it, to love thy neighbor as thyself. It's love, but I get it. People don't know how to love, so they think love ain't enough. What love got to do with it? What love got to do with it? What love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. Everything. But people don't know about love. That's why I take you to Galatians 5:22 and 23 and 1 Corinthians the 13th chapter, the 4th through the 8th verse. It's love. Love do bring you home. Love should have been with me. Hey, should have been right by my side. Baby, if you cared anything for me, then love would have brought you to me last night. Right? Love.
Absolutely.
Love do bring you home. Love is the what does it.
That is so true.
Love.
Hey, we should have done these on Sundays. This felt like
I know, right?
I feel like that Sunday talk.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Roy, he said every day is Sabbath.
Yes.
Yep.
His mercy never fails me all my life. Yep. Say about the fun one, right? Yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, it's the love that transforms you, that uplifts you. It's the truth that frees you, right? It's the peace that keeps you. It's the joy that sustains you, right?
Yep.
And so that's just how we're supposed to live this life. That's the kingdom of God. That's the kingdom of your good. Peace, joy, love, harmony, abundance. You came to have an abundant life. And the scripture is replete with all kind of examples of how God is going to give you the desires of your heart. It says, if you just delight yourself in me, I will give you. Not that you have to earn, not that you have to beg, not that you have to plead, not that you have to sacrifice or struggle, but I will give you the desires of your heart.
Yep.
Yes, Mark 11:24. Yes, that's what my recipe for life is based off on. Therefore, I say to you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe you have received them, and you shall have them. Decide, pray, believe, receive. That's the 4 steps. Decide, pray, believe, receive. That's it. And prayer is what? A commanding, a recognition, and acknowledgement that the thing you ask for already belongs to you. Right? He reminds us that Pascal says, if you had not, you would not have sought me if you what? Had not already found me. It's already yours. Yep, that's what I just found it. To desire a state is to have it. To desire a state is to have it. As Pascal has said, you would not have sought me had you not already found.
So what you seeking has already been seeking you.
Yep. It's already yours.
It's
Already belongs to you. Yep. And he says this is the part that we had that this is the part that we struggle with. We might, we do struggle with this part. Again, I want to remind you that the responsibility to make what you have done real in this world is not on your shoulders. Do not be concerned with the how. You have assumed that it is done. The assumption has its own way of objectifying itself. All responsibility to make it so is removed from you. Not your work. It's already done.
Be still like Sabbath, right?
Yep.
So that's why so Sabbath should be every day for you.
Yep.
Because it's you're resting. It's done. And I think that's what A-Town did. He said Sabbath is every day.
Fact.
Yep. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It does.
He states again, do not say to yourself, I wonder if I am really detached from that state, or I wonder if so and so is true. Give all your attention to the assumption that the thing is so, because all responsibility to make it so is completely removed from your shoulders. You do not have to make it so. It is so. You appropriate what is already fact and you walk in the assumption that it is. In a way that you do not know, I do not know, no man knows. It becomes objectified in your world.
I like how he said the only acceptable gift to God is anything else is abomination. So that ties. We try to put so many steps on it. We try to put so much on it. Like, okay, I got to do this. I got to go there. I got to do that. It's like you don't even do that. Just desire it, feel it, know it, and have a joyous heart about it.
Yep.
He was cutting out, Royal. The only acceptable gift is what? And where'd you read that at, T?
It's superstition or abomination.
You still cutting out, Royal.
Is that better?
What part did you just read, T?
What part did I just read?
Yeah,
I was on page on my book is page 81. It's right after he talks about the state akin to sleep. So it's the next page after that when he lists the 3 steps: define your objective, construct an event, and mobilize the body. You go over to the next page, and then it's at the bottom of the next page where it says, "Do not say to yourself." For me, it's page 81. I don't know how it appears for you.
Me too. Okay, no, that's perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the only acceptable gift is a joyful heart. Yep, that's it. A joyful heart.
Mm-hmm.
We're referencing Neville Goddard's 5 lessons, and we're on the 5th lesson. So we're finishing his lecture series up tonight. And anytime we all can reference any of the other 4 lessons that we spoke that we went over the last several weeks. This one is titled "Remaining Faithful to Your Idea." Last week we talked about no one to change but self, so that's really about the self concept. That's the once you decide who you are, that determines what you say you can have, right? You don't get what you want, you get who you say you are. So that's why changing your concept of yourself is so important, because that helps you realize what's possible for you.
I like how that thing says, simply assume that it is done and suspend reason, suspend all the arguments of the conscious three-dimensional mind. Your desire is outside of the reach of the three-dimensional mind. And it says, assume that you are what you wish to be. Walk as though you were it. And as you remain faithful to your assumption, it will harden this fact. And I think that's kind of like I think that's like the pause where people, they just want to put everything in the pool. Well, my karma's bad, or, I'm waiting on my blessing, or, they just feel whatever they want inside of that time. But it's really the clarity and us being able to really be faithful to our assumptions. And I think that's really good for me, because a lot of times we like to put time into it. A lot of other things, and I think that's where Carmen was like all those arguments. People just come up with all type of fantasies that God's doing. They say, "Well, God just knows what to," they'll swear it down. They know exactly what God's doing, saying, thinking, what he, everything. I just be looking at it like, okay, and it's hard because they be so dead serious, and they be looking at you in your eyes, like like they really speaking to you. And I'm looking at him like, dang, okay, like, what do you want me to? I don't even be knowing what to say. I just be looking at him like, dang, you really want me to think somebody outside of me has control over me, and I ain't got this. You know what I'm saying? Are you preaching to me? You swear up and down. God's telling me. I be like, man, I be going to tell him to go sit down somewhere. But
The program.
It definitely is, and so. And I just be, I look at it, I try to look at them like, okay, they'll catch on when they catch on. But they are so earnest that they know that they woke up with God on their right shoulder, and He told everything that they need to be and see. And yeah, so it's interesting, but I like how it says just, remain faithful to your assumptions. And I think that's why you're always manifesting, because you don't know what you're assuming half the time. And if you don't catch your assumptions or what the ingredients of that assumption is, that thing will harden into fact too. So, I think that's a real big for me.
For sure, man.
Guys, read the questions that they had at the end.
No, I didn't get that far.
Nope,
I
I didn't get
just
that
seen it
far.
when you said that. Dang, T.
He got that, people in the audience got to ask. So I think that's a really good thing, especially it's going to answer a lot of the questions that people have regarding manifesting, because he gives people right, because people are asking specific, like, oh, I want to be married, or I want to be a writer, or I want this, or I want that. It's over 30 something questions that the audience asks after the lecture series. So I think those will be really good for those who are having questions regarding manifesting. He gives his tips on what to do to manifest certain areas of your life. Because here's one that a lot of people like to ask about. 2 people want the same position. One has it, the other had it, and now wants it back. Answer: your father The dimensionally greater you has ways and means you know not of. Accept his wisdom. Feel your desire is fulfilled, then allow your Father to give it to you. The present one may be promoted to a higher position or marry a man of great wealth and give up her job. She may come into a great deal of money or choose to move to another state. Many people say they want to work, but I question that seriously. I say that all the time. I question that seriously too. I don't really think people really want to work, but people say we think we have to work, but okay. They want security and condition security on a job. But I really do not think that he's talking about women. I really don't think that the average girl truly wants to get up in the morning and go to work. I don't think a lot of men do either. He didn't work. Neville Goddard didn't work. Why are you talking about women didn't want to work? He didn't want to work either. Like,
Put that work in at the seminar. Hey,
look,
that's
Aaron said, I know I don't. Aaron like, I don't want to work. I ain't trying to work.
That's back in the 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, but they say he didn't charge for his seminar, so I don't know. He didn't charge. He said he would rent out the I know he used to go to the ebook theater. That was a really popular theater because I know also Dr. Joseph Murphy taught out of that theater too, and a couple of other teachers of that time in California taught out of that theater, and he would only charge the amount it took to pay for the theater. He said people would offer him money, he would turn it down. You know, people would try to telling him that he can make boatloads of money, but you know, he was taken care of by his family. His family, remember, his family got the business and it became a very big booming business, and he received dividends from that business. So that's how he was taken care of.
Hey, Dr. Joseph Murphy, I've really been getting into him lately. I like the way he teaches.
Yeah, I rock with him too.
Yeah. He was looking like Rockefeller for a little bit, so I really didn't get into him too much. I didn't know if he was, his teachings are amazing.
Yeah. This is another one that's a good question that because a lot of people talk about, you know, we call it depression now, and this particular question is called melancholy. He says, no matter how much I try to be happy, underneath I have a melancholy feeling of being left out. Why? Because you feel you are not wanted. Were I you, I would assume I am wanted. You know the technique. The assumption that you are wanted may seem false when first assumed. But if you will feel wanted and respected and persist in that assumption, you will be amazed how others will seek you out. They will begin to see qualities in you they had never seen before. I promise you, if you will but assume you are wanted, you will be. So that comes for relationships, right? Feeling left out, friendships, relationships, whatever it is, you have to assume that you have whatever you're desiring to be, right? You have to see yourself as someone that people want to be around, that you are enough, right? A lot of people don't feel like they're enough. People think there's something wrong with them. And I know we say change your mind, change your world. We're not saying that you have to change and be a different person. We're saying think differently about yourself. Recognize that there's nothing wrong with you. Recognize that your gifts, your personality, your traits are sufficient enough. And those dynamic traits in you, other people are going to love because you have learned to love it. You got to appreciate who you are. This isn't about trying to be somebody different in the fact that you're not enough. It's being someone different in how you think, knowing that you are complete, you're whole, you're wonderful, you're brilliant, you're intelligent, you're generous, you're kind. Those are your true attributes, and they already are present within you. You just have to accept it. That's really it. That's what you're changing. You're changing how you perceive yourself. You're changing and seeing that you are the love that you've been looking for, that you're it.
That's a good point.
I am the love.
Right. Yeah,
Of
the
the-
test first. Yeah. But that's what we have to tell ourselves, that is light and easy, right, Janae? We have to tell ourselves, we have to start telling ourselves that it's difficult. We have to start telling ourselves that it's just as easy to think positive as it is to think negative. It's just as easy to think good of yourself as it is to think wrong of yourself, because they're both thoughts. It takes the same energy. It takes the same energy. You only have to make the decision to think differently, and then remain committed to that.
I think like Neville said, it's habits though. You know, we say things like I'm more aware of what I say. I'm trying to be more aware of what I see. Even that, I'm trying not to say try. But like you say things like hell yeah, or just things that are just unconsciously you just saying these things like, oh, that's hard, and just being more aware of some of our wordplay because it just comes out so, like he said, those habits aren't law.
Mm-mm.
They hit like law, but they're not law.
Yep. He said, when we break a habit, our desire to break it is greater than our desire to continue the habit. That's why you got to fall in love with yourself. You got to be like that moth to a flame, yearned by desire. You got to be willing to want to see yourself as you truly are, more than you have desire to remain as you are. That's really it. I no longer want to remain as I am. I want to see myself as I truly am. And that's love, that's peace, that's joy, that's abundance in all things good, that's harmony, success, health, wealth, prosperity, however you want to label it, define it. That's who we truly are. It's just all about acceptance of it, recognition, becoming aware of who you are. You have to meditate on these things. You must go to sleep. You got to meditate on this law, the truth of your being. Upon this law do you meditate day and night. And what's the law? The law of love. The law of love. Yep. Do you guys have any more notes?
I like talking.
Yep. Be stronger than your feelings. Be stronger than, yep. Your feelings do not matter. You're here to control the thoughts and the feelings. You're here to master them. Discipline your mind, right? Fruit of the spirit is what? Self-control, controlling those feelings. Yep.
Luke 9:62. No one puts a hand to the plow and looks back. Is fit for the service in the kingdom of God. Assume that it is done.
Yes.
I like that. Yep.
Yep. You can be a Lot's wife.
Exactly. Can't be looking back.
Y'all know the story of Lot's wife, right?
She turned to a pillar of salt.
God said, okay, you and Lot, y'all going into a new state, a country, and you can what? Not take any of that stuff with you. You got to leave everything behind, right? That's you telling yourself you're entering into a new state of abundance. You cannot bring the old state of lack with you. You can bring that baggage with you, that old mindset. Because if you do, looking back on the old state, what resurrects it, keeps it alive. You're giving your attention to it. And so her looking back, what preserved her in that state. That's why she turned to a pillar of salt. She remained in the old state and could not go forward. You can't go forward and look back. It's impossible.
That's where her heart was, because that's where her memories were. That's where she came from. So he said, but wait a minute now, you got to reach for what's in front of you, basically, and leave what's behind you. For if you're looking back, that's where your heart is. So nowhere you're going to receive what you want because you're still looking back. You didn't have nothing back there. So why are you looking back there? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
you looking back, but then go back, girl. Oh, is that where you want to be? But then go ahead and go on back.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want to go forward. Oh, you know what I want to ask? And this is what A-Town was talking about when he said that you have to be conscious about, because you're always manifesting. And so can that be compared to when Neville was talking about the two worlds, the world inside and the world outside? Because if you're always manifesting, so I don't know, wait a minute. You're always manifesting because what's on the inside is going to show up on the outside. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful about that inside world because it's going to manifest that outside world.
Absolutely. As within.
So without. Okay.
Right. That's why he tells you that you leave the world alone. The world is showing you what's going on within. Because the world is the without. The external world is the mirror of what's happening within. So if you want to change the within, you want to change the without, you have to first change what's going on within. I was watching a video earlier about where people talk about the entanglement, right? That law of entanglement. And he was talking about the natural balance of things. And so he was saying, that science has proven that we're all connected. Everything is connected. Nothing is separate. The illusion is separation is the illusion. We're all connected to one another. And he was saying that when you have a certain mindset going on within, and the outside does not mirror what's going on within, a balance has to take place. So either the balance is going to be the outside is going to reflect what's going on, or you are going to adjust to what's going on out there. And that's how many of us have been operating, right? Many of us adjust to the outside as opposed to allowing the outside to adjust to us. So the balance is, say you're talking about within that you're abundant, but your outside world is telling you, checking account saying, savings account saying you negative, you got low funds, right? Your external world is telling you you're not abundant. But if you can maintain the consciousness of abundance, regardless of what, this is the scale, right? Abundance and the it's out of balance because you're saying you're abundant, but your world is saying that you're not abundant. So that's the imbalance. What you want to do is maintain the mindset of abundance so that the world balances this way. And now the world shows abundance. A lot of us do the opposite. We come down to the poverty. We come down to the lack as opposed to allowing the abundance to show. We give over to circumstance because the world is always going to balance itself out. That's what actually, when it says vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, vengeance in scripture means balance. Consciousness always balances itself. So if you want the world to reflect what's going on within, you must maintain it and allow the world to adjust. But we get impatient, right? We get nervous, we get fearful. Oh my goodness, what if it doesn't? Oh my goodness, what if it don't work out? Instead of saying all things work together for my good, everything is always working out for me, is what if it doesn't work out? Oh my goodness, I'm trusting, but I ain't really trusting. I'm trusting, but man, what if, I gotta pay this bill by next month. Or this bill is due Friday and it's Thursday night, and then you still wondering, is it gonna happen? Is it, oh my goodness, and so you're giving over to the lack. And so what do you end up creating? Lack.
Lack. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. The thing is that what's the beauty of it? Even if you were doing that, guess what you get to do?
Revise.
Revise that thing.
Do it
Ain't
again.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing permanent. It can all be changed in a twinkling of an eye. It can all be changed.
So that's like the double-minded, right? That the Bible talk about, like when you have this assumption of this desire, and then all of a sudden you go back to old self or old thinking, and you just keep hopping back and forth. It's like confusion.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be careful of that double-minded, because a double-minded man is what?
Unstable in all his ways.
In all his ways. And everything you do.
Yes.
I know I had to start doing something where, and I think it was like maybe like my good thoughts had a threshold. It's like you could, it's like up to a certain point, but then it's almost like running a lap. Like you can run a lap, you can probably run maybe a quarter of that lap, maybe like your first time, but after that quarter, you're gonna fall off. Like you don't know how hard you're gonna be breathing. You don't even know you can walk. How you can do the next lap. That was my thoughts at one point where I would come out of my, either my meditation or I would say my, my affirmations or something, my self talk, or I'd be kind of giving my medicine, shooting me up, and I noticed that after a while, if I'm getting unconscious or if I just lose like a certain level of focus, my thoughts can be lascivious and they can go somewhere else. But now I started being able to, anytime I thought I was going somewhere, I want to go into a lovelier place, like a more beautiful arena or a beautiful, just beautify whatever that next thought is, because I noticed that it'd be going to more of either accusations, either judging. It just go into a certain program, a certain software that wasn't conducive to the reality, to my new self concept, like Janine said. And so now it's just like going overboard, or not even overboard, but just kind of like just indulging in the beauty of whatever that is and just going down that route rather than having to go down another foxhole. But I noticed my thoughts of the beauty of life or the beauty of whatever is going on up there is staying on that lane, and I'm able to go like a little more further without having to take a breather and like hold on. Because sometimes I get lost in my thoughts, like I have to hold on, what was I just thinking about? You know what I'm saying? Or having to kind of like, Negro, what was you just thinking about? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we like that. Let's revise that. Just like you said, let's rewind that. And come back. But I just had to add that in there because I noticed like now I can, I can go maybe a couple days without having to kind of like pause and sit there and actually like having to just do a mental pit stop. Where you take out the tires, you take out the fuel it back up. Now I can go maybe a day or two without having to do that. But now I notice like, okay, before I couldn't do an hour without cussing somebody out, or fussing about something or arguing about something, and all self-mental. So I just wanted to add that in there, how much I appreciate, just not only the community, but the book and everything that we're doing so we can, get this new self-concept, because it's definitely helping me out for sure.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what helps being double-minded is you have to talk to yourself. All of this has to do with your inner conversation. You change your self-concept by talking to yourself, reminding yourself of who you are. You got to talk yourself off the ledge, off the edge of the cliff. You got to talk yourself down from the doubt, from the fear. It's okay if you're nervous. That's a part of life. When you're nervous, do it anyway. When you're fearful, don't force anything. That's the one thing. You don't want to force anything, but you want to do it knowing that all is well. Everyone gets nervous. So the nervousness shouldn't be something that keeps you, because you know that you're not forcing it, that once you start doing it, it flows. Now, if you're doing it and you're kind of like forcing and struggling and straining, that's when you want to take a step back, because this should be light and easy. It should be a flow. It should not never be a force. You should do it freely and enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it and you're doing things begrudgingly and you complaining, the more you complain, the more things you get to complain about. So, pay attention to the flow and ease state. If it's not a flow and ease state, then you're trying to force things, and that's when you want to back up.
Yep.
It reminds me of when the devil was trying to tempt Jesus. And he pull it up to him. He's like, I could turn. He's like, your God. I mean, your father could turn this bread. I mean, this rock into bread. And then he didn't argue with him. You know what I mean? He just kind of like flipped that, like, versus arguing with that thought or arguing with that old self and trying to come back up.
Well, not that he argued. What did he use? He used the word.
The scripture, right? That's what I'm saying. He didn't argue. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
That's like when crazy thoughts come up. Because one of the scientists, either Dispenza or Lipton, he was saying we have like 60,000 thoughts that run through our mind on a daily, like average. And all those thoughts aren't ours. They're from our environment, they're from our childhood, they're from something we watched on TV, and we decide what we attach to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it.
Another thing I like what Neville said, he said, make elsewhere here and the future now. Make elsewhere here.
Say that again, Janine.
He said, make elsewhere here and the future now. Because we know there is no future. Everything is now. So make elsewhere here and the future now. I like that.
Yeah, that's a gem.
Yeah, because I want my stuff now. I want everything. I want stuff now. I'll be waiting to the future.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Bring there, here, and make then now. Everything is here and now. Everything is here and now. That's why
you read that part
we're
out,
told
Janine?
to say, first person.
I was listening. I'm so sorry. I was listening, so I don't know. I didn't read it. I listened.
No,
because I had to work, so a lot of stuff I did at work. I should have been working, but I was working I was multitasking.
There you go. What were you saying, T? I forgot. We cut you off. Sorry, T.
Oh no, you good. I was just. We good. But I was just, basically, why you should speak first person present tense. You always want to, and here's the thing. Yeah, some of us say we're going to do some things, right? When we say we're going to do, a lot of times we know it's a done deal, right? If I say, I'm going to go to the store tomorrow, I'm going to go to the store today, or whatever, I'm going to go do something. That means you're doing it. It's good, it's done, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to the things that we desire to bring about into our experience, you want to make that a present reality. Because those things, you don't know how it's going to happen, right? You know how you get into the store. You either ordering it, you're going to have Instacart bring it to you, right? Or some DoorDash or something, or you're going to get in your car and you're going to decide, right? You know how that's going to happen. It's the things you don't know what's going to take place. That's where it requires faith and trust, right? Yep, and you trust that it's done. And that's the thing with faith. I know it's a lot of people, talk about faith, and we think faith is about blindly following someone. We need to deconstruct from that mentality. That's a religious teaching of faith. Blindly following a leader, blindly listening to someone just because they sound good, because they make you feel emotional and make you feel a certain kind of way. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. This ain't about putting your trust in other people. This is about putting your trust in you. It's the substance of a thing hoped for. So what things are you hoping for? That's where your faith should be. And it's the evidence of not being able to see the thing. That's where the faith should go. It shouldn't be about blindly following somebody just because they sound good. And so we mistake where our faith should go. Your faith should only be in you, in the God within you. It shouldn't care. You should care less about what somebody else talking about or somebody else trying to convince you of something. You only need to convince yourself. You know, a red flag should go up when people trying to overly convince you of something. Because why? Why are you trying to make me believe you? The only person you need to believe in is in you. I don't even need to believe me. I don't need to believe you. Because you don't decide whether I get something or I don't get something. You don't have the power to decide that. So what does it matter if I believe in you or not? It should only matter that I believe in me. Because I'm the one that's answering my prayer based on my belief, based on my faith. We got to learn how to trust ourselves. Yep, I trust that I make the right choices. That part. Yes. Hello, Prolific Mike. Hello.
I like the part where it says a dream is nothing more than uncontrolled fourth dimensional thinking, or the rearrangement of both past and future sensory impressions. So if we can expound on that a little bit, I mean, so we're taking past, future. Is that saying we're taking past and future and making it now? Yeah. So yeah, if we can kind of.
When he gave the example that he had a dream and all of the dream was out of order. And when he
Correct.
experienced in real life the dream, you saw that some of those things wasn't something he actually experienced, but something he overheard or what somebody else was doing, right? So he was saying in the dream, dreams usually don't have a beginning or end, right? Dreams kind of just happening. It's kind of you just started something and it just takes
Right.
shape and
It's
takes
just
form,
there.
right? Yeah, and so and then when you experience it in your 3D, it's similar. You see some of the things if you can remember it. Clearly he could remember his dreams quite vividly. Some of us don't remember our dreams as vividly as Neville does, but he was just showing you that his dreams, that our dreams, they can be uncontrolled, but then we know people lucid dream where they wake up and can control the dream, right? So clearly he's talking about maybe something he had yet to experience, or maybe something he just didn't want to touch on, because he does later on in his teachings talk about awakening in the dreams and being able to control the dreams once awakened within them.
Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we're just our sensories are just rearranged. Because we see one thing, it's not the love or the gratefulness or the assumptive value, where we're looking at of course it says the 3D, or we're looking at the 3D differently because we take our sensories are from the 3D. Is that correct?
Well, we have sensories outside of the five senses, right? Because you can hear without the ear, right? You can see without your physical eyes, and you can talk
Mm-hmm.
without your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
right? So our senses go beyond the limitation of the human form.
Mm. Okay.
I mean, you just know this from when you visualize, right? Or you talk to yourself without using your vocal cords,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You can
Mm.
smell. Yep, you can smell right now if you wanted to. You could smell, something that maybe you like a woman's perfume, and you could smell it, or you could smell your own cologne right now. You're like, you can imagine you smelling a rose or flowers, right? And they don't have to be present with you, but you can imagine that you're smelling it, right? You can even taste different foods in your mouth, right? You know what chocolate tastes like, you can imagine that now, right? You can have those sensory perceptions, right, in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's also to know that we're more than our physical bodies, right? That we're more than this limitation. But a lot of us don't even allow ourselves to expand our consciousness with that. And that's what the awakening process is, to let us know that we're more than this physical limitation. I like, keep it simple. Know that you are a creator. Yep. Yep. So, any final thoughts, guys? I'll be closing it at 8 o'clock.
Nah, that was a good pick. That was a good pick on the book club. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
it was. Yes, it was. I'm so glad I was a part of it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, T. This was
Yeah.
definitely a winner.
Yep.
Yes, yes. We gotta thank Lisa. Lisa, this was her. She suggested, the 5 lessons. And I appreciate you guys for showing up and giving your input, for joining the panel. I don't know, neighbor. We're gonna hold off for
Look,
our
I'm like
next
neighbor. I'm
book.
like, what's next?
We taking a break.
Toyia about to go on retirement.
We'll take a break. Oh, maybe even if we do come back, maybe we move them to Sundays. That may be, a Sunday morning. We'll see, But I don't know. We're gonna take a break, hold off a little bit with the book club. We'll see. You can always put suggestions in our Facebook group. You
Yeah, we
know,
can put a
put
poll.
some. Right, all right, but we're gonna take a break. Maybe I don't know. I don't know again when, because what this is about 6 or 7 weeks that we did this 5 lessons. So,
Was it five? How many? Yeah, how many weeks was it?
well, the lessons was 5, but I know a
So you had
couple of
like
the lessons
two.
we did. We spent 2 weeks on a couple of the lessons.
So we used to get about a couple months there. Then that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See,
Okay,
don't
look at
believe
y'all.
everything you think. Oh, that's a nice title. Say
Oh, that's a good
short
book
and
actually.
sweet.
Janae.
Oh, okay.
Is it Janie or Jenny? How do you pronounce the Jane? Janae.
Yeah, I've been pronouncing it Janae. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly.
Janae Michelle.
Yeah,
Okay,
Janae.
Janae.
Okay.
Janae.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm reading that book actually now, Janae, and that's a pretty good book.
Oh,
That's a
you're
good book.
reading it? Nice.
hmm
Cool.
I'm reading that one and 12-week year. Um,
Well,
12-week year is more of a productivity, just kind of de-annualizing the annual year, 12 weeks. Well, they break the year down in 12 weeks, and you get a lot more productivity, a different awareness. So now you have an end of the year. You have 4 end of years, collectively. So it's a dope book, but yeah.
oh, okay. Cool. Cool. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. So yeah, these 5 lecture series by Neville, the 5 lessons. You know, I've been
Tremendous
studying
book.
Neville for the past, 7 years. So very familiar with his teachings, very familiar with,
Okay,
the
so when you
techniques he
do,
was offering. So who has the TV? Somebody listening to TV?
All right, now it's time to get out there and
And
Sorry,
apply
that
it.
was
put
me
that thing
talking
to
to
work.
my son.
Okay. No worries, no worries. But like Royal says, yes, Royal Nagu said, you got to, now it's time to apply it. Now, do the meditations, get the self-concept, and be easy with yourself, as in the words of Abraham Hicks, right? Be easy with yourself. Yes, you may err from the faith. That's okay. It's okay. You have the power to, we have repentance, we have revision. We don't have to accept any experience. No condemnation to them that are in Christ Jesus. No condemnation. No guilt, no shame, no regret, no remorse. It's okay. Just think again. Just think again. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Because sometimes I do that. I'm like, damn, I know better. Know better. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, we got to remember that since we've awakened to this, the truth of our being, and we recognize that this is just a play. It's our little movie, right? We get to write the script. We get to edit. We get to redirect. We're the producer, right? We get to write it, all of that, and then we star in it. And yes, the world literally revolves around you. Everyone coming into your experience is there to help you, and they're only there to hurt or hinder you because you wrote the script. So rewrite the script. Stop thinking that people are out to get you and to mess you up and to hate on you and to, loose that and let that go. Ain't nobody trying to hurt you other than you think they are. And that's why they trying to hurt you, because you think it. Remember, it's your thoughts that turn the thing. Stop thinking it, then it won't be so. Right?
Right.
Think
There are
on the
no unselfish
lovely.
desires.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Think on the lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Think on the lovely. Think on the just. Think on the pure. Think of anything that has a good report. Right? What's a good report? I'm loved by everyone. Everyone love me. Everybody, they can't get enough. They adore me. They are inspired by me. They are encouraged because of me. I am the light. I am the light. Lylyte. I am. But you are the light of the world. Be the light of your world. You are the light of the world.
That's right.
Oh, congratulations, Lisa. Congratulations.
Nah, Lisa is doing her thug thizzle for shizzle.
I know, right?
She is out here doing
I
her
can only do
thing.
the roll to do the wow. I don't know why I can't do the wow. Oh, there we go.
Got a corporation, got a website. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yes. But thank you guys once again. So we were reading for 5 days, but now only Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, okay. Nice. All right, guys. Thank you once again. Another wonderful book club meeting. Definitely appreciate you guys, everyone in the chat. Thank you for your engagement and your comments. Hey, we reached 21K today, so thank you. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
Toyia.
guys.
Thanks,
Have a great
everybody.
one.
Royal, Janine, everybody be good. Appreciate
Yes,
everybody.
everyone.
All
Have a
right.
good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Peace reflections.